everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video the grain shed is more or less complete and we're ready to start drying grain. Now, of everything that we've cut, we've quite a bit to actually dry. About the half of what we cut is for drying. Just hooking up to a trailer load of oats here to put through it first. Yeah. Go around with this load of oats now to the other side. Now the oats isn't overly wet, it's 18%, so I probably would keep if we kept it on air. We do have grain on air at the minute with towers, but we want to run something relatively dry through the grain dryer first to get it all brightened up and to brighten up our series of slides that get it from the grain shed to the meal shed. I'll show you the setup when we get this tipped, but this is the first load going to be going through it. The wheat now is probably the thing that needs the most rain. Everything else was cut 120%, so it's good. All the stuff that's over 18 will dry, and that's under 18 it should keep. Quadruple of acid on it, shouldn't be a loss on it. Now, how am I going to get back in here with the shovel and everything in the way? How am I getting back in here? That's not going to happen. There's too many machines parked around here now to get the swing into the grain shed. Might get it here. Load and shovel and the plant trailer is in front of me. Both of them need to be moved. I might get this one. We cut wheat there on Friday. Yes, Friday last week. Kind of in between all the heavy rain. So moisture was quite high. It has started to sprout. If you pull ahead, you can see the green sprouts. So it's getting very much wants to be cut. Now we have very little left to do up there. Maybe 2 more trailer load to cut. 6 runs in the back sward, but the stuff that we cut was 30% and we have 6 load. The wheat is doing very well. It's doing over 3 ton so far, so we're very happy with the wheat. Now barley's no disappointment really this year. Wheat is the big one to dry, but we can't afford to dry some of the wheat first because at that such a high percentage it will surely clog the grain dryer. So we need to get it brightened up, knock any bits of rust in that off it, good and shiny so everything flows nicely. And then to dry that higher moisture stuff, we also have to put in a ton or 2 of dry grain to help it go through the grain dryer, because otherwise there's a risk of it clogging. It's the one thing we're told about it. Any of the real high moisture stuff, it will dry it and it will keep it, but don't put it in on its own. Put a bit of dry stuff with it to get it to flow through it, or it'll just clog. And eventually get back in here. So everything is set up, the intake auger is in the ground, the grain dryer is in position, the gas tank is hooked to it. We have a ton gas tank. The one thing that we are missing that I would love to include, and we will probably have a look at the plough and see what's available, what's priced up for next year, is 2 or 3 of them tall bunker walls down the middle of that, which would mean that you can keep that barley up higher, and it'd leave it that we can get into this side for drying. So this is the auger in the ground, so that's it. Flat steel going around it there. It's not, we can still pull that out, and the plan will be to pull it out so that we can clean out in and under there at the end of every season. Yeah. Well, it's stop a bit of it, but it's not going to stop it all. There'll always, rain will always find a way to get through nooks and crannies. But that's it set up. There's no bars across it at the time being, but there should be no reason for it to be driving across it, because the distance from there to the back wall, you know, isn't a lot. The only thing is just to watch out for the lip of a bucket, because it sits a bit proud of it, but hopefully it shouldn't be a problem. Farmer Phil has the screen around the top of it, which isn't tied to the trough, it's bolted to the wall, so it should, in theory it should stay still. And then we'll go out through Father Phil's man pass. Yes. And into the grain dryer. Grain dryer, he is set up here on to try and keep the trough on that tied together. He has put in a wee top link. Grain dryer is set up, so just put the tractor into it. Then we have our series of boxes. So unloads down and into chute and into the other shed. Now we have to move the oats that's in that shed, so it was 3 trailer load of oats in it, wasn't it? Yeah. So we'll get them loaded up and we'll have it then that'll unload into this side, gas pipe, and then gas tank to the other side of the firewall. ready for its maiden voyage. Everything is more or less done. All that's left is Father Phil has a extractor fan to go into that end. There's sheets to go that end, and there's a bit of, is there flashing still or sheeting to go above the roller door?
No, yes, no, there's the whole, same as your door over
there.
Has to be finished. But that's shed finished.
Yeah.
Canopy on, little canopy on it last night just to keep the...
I keep the rain blowing, so the canopy that's there is to keep it from blowing that way. The only issue we will ever have is if that needs to come out, we'll be able to pull it forward to clean it out, but if that has to come out, that's when it could get interesting.
We need an angle grinder.
That's when it could get interesting, but hopefully we won't need it anytime soon. Right, you want to put the tractor to that before this starts tipping, yeah?
Correct, yeah.
Right, we'll go get the 6270. Father Phil's about to climb into the belly of the beast. Because there's grease nipples internally, so you have 3.
That's the chain has to be on.
Yeah, in the middle of it. And that's it. The rest is on the outside.
Just check that gearbox and grease that. It's every 50 hours.
Yeah. The rest of the points are all on the outside. You have to get in through this hole here to get into the inside of it. Fun. In we go. So this is the internals of the machine. So no grain goes up the centre there. That's where the heat comes in from there through the plume. The grain is on the outside, in between the 2 skins, and it flows down, flows underneath, and into there, which all goes back up the centre. So I have to grease points up there, I think.
Put that on that bottom on there.
Where? Oh, this. That's for the bottom bearing. Where's the grease nipple?
At the front, it's on the bearing. On the bearing in the front of the gearbox.
That's where you can do a picture of what I'm supposed to be looking for. Anyways, I'm gonna climb in here. So, grain dryer is on, spinning. Intake auger running. Here goes the first grain into it.
Take them from the board.
That's it. In it goes. When it goes in through the auger, goes into the bottom, and then gets brought up to the top, and then out over the top. And as you can see there, the grain falling down. Takes about half an hour to fill it that way, so it is quite slow. Alright, a good 20 minutes anyways. But it's quite slow filling it this way. Some people I know have augers, big augers, that will fire it straight in over the top to fill it quicker. But this is just the setup for now. And now begins the dust. The worst part of the job. So we should have this batch in, dried down to 16 and unloaded in about an hour and a half. That's what I'd reckon. So yeah, it's going in, yeah. Yeah, happy days. It's all set up. The grain shed is all complete apart from a few sheets up there, a bit up here on the roller door, and we will put in 3 or 4 bunker walls here and bring it out to, I'd say, about here in the shed, so that you can pile that up a bit more and you can easily get in. The further out we go, the harder it is to get the trailer over and up. I think it'd be too bad at that now. And we'll go with the long bunker walls because they're more slender, so you don't take up the Lego block kind of walls, just take up a lot more space. Job's a good one. Right. I'm going to leave them here and that. Dust is a killer. The only downside to what we've put in that there is the farm shop is here. That is dusty, and when it turns on the fan, that is very noisy. So we won't really know until we kind of get a bit into it, but it could be a bit of a problem for the farm shop, just having to wash the roof every year and then maybe having to dry in certain times, not for have the noise. We won't really know till we get in that far. That's the only downside. I'm going to go agitating in 27.25 because 629 is on tanker, 648 is on tanker, 64.99 is on the flat lift, and everything is more or less spoken for. So Double Dog stays on the agitating for today. I'll go off agitate up another tank for the lads to get spread, and yeah, happy out. Grain dryer. Good go. So, a few days has passed since we last filmed. There was a bit of an issue getting the gas to work for the grain dryer, but all's working now. Also, canopy is finished off, and to work with the canopy then you'll see 2 fans up there, extractor fans, to keep the moist air and the dust sucked out that way, or to help anyways. So Father Phil just has the first load of oats dried, so we just have to move all the oats. We've removed the oats from the other side of the wall where we unloaded. We're just a wee bit tight on space. So as I said, if we had them bunker walls, it would probably be alright. For now, as soon as we cut the beans, it'll be a different story. But we'll go put on a trailer and there's 2 load of oats to come out of there. So we can get them out and then we can get the rest of the oats through. So we'll fill up the triffid, fill up the blue trailer, and job should be a good one. Turn the 6270 ready to start unloading through the box compartment up there. Ready to go? And here we go is nothing. Can't even remember what I have it plugged into. The biggest problem we could have, possibly, is that the fall on the chute, the glare on the, you can't see it's glare across, but it goes in, down into that box, and then that is folded and then folded out, but the fall on it going that way may not be enough for it to come out nicely. That's kind of the only fear we have, and I got told to stop after starting, so that's not a good sign. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Yeah, that could let us down. I'm quite confident there's going to be a revisiting on that emptying spout, because it's no. I was told to turn it on and off in intermittent first, and I just done it a couple of times and then it started coming out the top of it. For those of you wondering why didn't we get what I said earlier, we get an extended August when it went with the top sheet. They were afraid of basically not being able to get it sealed properly if we went into the roof sheets. So they want to go into the end sheets. We're going into the end sheets. We've had to do this, which currently isn't working. So yeah, I don't know what they will do. I'm keen on going for my idea of going extend auger and strap it straight down. But anyways, I'll find something else to do rather than sit here. Someone else can be sitting here doing this, I go get something else done. So, it's dusty in here, but we have it. So as you can see how much we had to turn it down by. So, dropped it 6 inches. That seems to be flowing pretty good there now. So I was throwing it out a fair bit out of the shed too, so. But all this has to be moved into the dry oats, which is the other side of the wall, so that we can do the wheat here. The Father Phil's just testing it there. $13. So that's it. Once it gets dry, it tends to flow quite well. And also, yeah. Also, as that gets kind of shined up, it should flow better. So we had to decrease the RPM of the PT1 tractor to stop it, because what we're finding after we dropped it, she was building up and boiling up over the wee box tanks here. So we dropped the RPM on the grain dryer so it's not bringing up as much, so there's less coming out the auger, which is less going down. I think we're running a bit better. Take a little bit longer to empty out, but the main thing is getting emptied, getting dried, and we can just keep going through it. All we have really is there's a 2-trailer load of oats, there's 90 ton of wheat to be dried, and then some of the barley to be dried, not all of it. We go here. Oh, it's too dusty for my liking. And we are back in the meal shed dash grain shed dash drying. So caterpillar started into the wheat, oats removed. So you can see here what we've done just to get the fall right. So rock it down. So it was tied into them braces up there. We let it down. We've popped with some timber there. So it's just started into the wheat. So we have all our oats dried. And as you may tell, we're a bit tight for space. So you'd fill half-ton bags, stack them, throw it across it, and then put up the straps so the bag's falling. Oh. Well, they start into the wheat there now, first load of wheat in. So as you can tell by how that is stood like that this is high moisture. There's a bit of drying in it. Well, it should be alright. So, well, it's good wheat. Very happy with how the wheat done. We're starting into that, and again we will suffer the same trouble when that is done, because we'll have the beans coming in. Nothing is ever big enough. At least we can keep it here. We have a good way of drying. Now that's the main thing, to have an actual proper way of drying. Tip the trailers, load them. Happy days. So, happy days. The only thing is, have to bring it round by the trailer. We couldn't go around with a bucket because you'd lose too much of that. So, you know. Grain dryer set up here. At the end of the season, when all is said and done, we'll be taking it out, cleaning it out, make sure it's clean. One thing is the dust. So as fans are going, the top up there, it's going to be interesting. The dust is the biggest thing. With the fans are pulling it out, it's going to go this way and go across to the shed in here. And there's no real dust. There's no dust from the grain dryer anyways in here. Trailer tipped. So if things were set up in time, it would be a little bit easier to do, because you could tip all of the oats that was to be there and then shoved it in and dried it and then stored it. But we'll be more ready for next year. But for this year, we're finally set up. That's the big one. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Anything you think should be different or that, let me know. But I'm happy enough. The biggest thing is it's much easier to do. It's all at home. No more running up and down the road. That's the big one. Anyways, hope you enjoyed today's video. Any questions, any comments, as always, hit me in the comments down below. That is it for me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Good luck.